stumbled across one of the most horrifying movies I've ever seen. And I don't think enough people have seen it or been traumatized by it yet. This movie robbed me of not only my dignity, but my money. $4 whole. I mean, that's just greedy. Guys, can you believe this? This movie cost $4 and it has 1 like and 0 comments on YouTube. I feel like the movie costed $4 purely because they're still trying to pay off the debt. It just makes no sense that this could have cost $20 million. I'm here to spread the word of the Dwiggins and leprechauns. Okay, so the movie starts off somewhere in the Wild West in 1849, and we meet the very first ever Fitzgeralds. Okay, all right, and look, I know you're confused because you're like, why is this little creepy ginger kid walking around on screen? Why is he important? Why are we in 1849? What y'all fail to realize is this isn't just any poorly animated, slightly horrifying ginger kid, okay? He trades these Dwiggins a singular donut with no icing on it for gold. This was just gonna be a one-time thing until a bear shows up, but luckily the Dwiggins, these little tiny itty-bitty fairies, they literally took down a grizzly bear with some slingshots and pebbles. And you know, since the Dwiggins saved the Fitzgeralds' life, he declared eternal friendship with the Dwiggins and the Fitzgeralds for many, many years to come.
The Fitzgeralds are your friends till the end of time!
So after we get a little bit of backstory there, we fast forward 200 years into the future. Okay, and it doesn't tell you that. I just want you to keep in mind, it doesn't tell you that. And at first, whenever I teleported to this part in the movie, I just assumed that was the little boy from the beginning. It's not. But luckily you have me to clear that up. Anyways, so yeah, we fast forward 200 years into the future where we get introduced to a newer generation of the Fitzgeralds. And this Fitzgerald, he's got some dust on his shoulders, I'm not gonna lie. But nothing could have prepared me for what was about to happen to this old man. We're hanging out with Fitzgerald, and one of the Dwiggins flies down. This is like low-key the king of Dwigganville. He comes down, he's hanging out with my boy Fitzgerald. They're cooking it up, they're chatting it up. I don't know how much back Fitzgerald was putting into these pancakes, but he had a heart attack and fucking died. And my favorite part of this scene is like, look, I'm not trying to laugh about Fitzgerald. Like, it's really upsetting. And I hate that we had to lose him so soon. But what is up with the completely unnecessary 360? Like, when he's dying, he just pivots and falls face first. Like, I don't think that's how it works. I think, like, according to all the rules of physics, he should have literally just fell backwards, but he pivoted. Luckily, he's able to muster out a couple words to Nosy Threehorn.
Pete Fitzgerald in Chicago. He's my only living relative.
Which makes no sense to me because we've pretty much established the Dwiggins and the Fitzgeralds go way back, and they clearly have some kind of trading system, and they clearly get along really well. And this random Fitzgerald family member that he's never met before, he's like, you know what? Him. Reach out to him. But then, as he's being taken away by an ambulance, we see this girl who is just torn to fucking pieces, absolutely devastated that he's dead. When I first was watching this, I was like, is this chick not related to you? Like, she's crying on your front porch. So now we're going to the Dwiggan Lounge. We're introduced to like some of the other Dwiggins of importance. This is the Dwiggan Council, okay? All of these Dwiggins are very important. I don't know why, but they are. Nosy reveals to the council that Fitzgerald has very unfortunately passed. And the Dwigs, they are just dwigged to pieces. They're dwigging out about this. They don't know what to dwig. But luckily, they have the Dwiggan manual that tells them exactly what to do. They follow up in the Dwiggan manual and they decide they need to get into contact with the Fitzgeralds and they need to help them. And then like this guy just shows up and is like, oh, I know y'all are all sad. I know this is a hard time, but French fries, anyone?
French fries, anyone?
Oh, yeah!
They decide they are gonna forge a legal note.
Dude, check it out. I made up an official stationery paper with a law firm name.
Who's the letter from?
One of those bogus crook sleazoids.
So yeah, they shoot this letter off by literally throwing it out the window. The letter flies to the new generation of Fitzgeralds that's about to just fulfill the prophecy. Right, so the letter must have successfully flown over to the Fitzgeralds because now we see them in the car headed to their new estate.
Uncle Jim's the last person I would have ever expected anything from.
So why did he give us his house?
Well, Timmy, see, my Uncle Jim died, and I guess I was his closest relative, and so I have no idea.
It's a grand stroke of luck.
What's so funny about this car ride to me is like the kid is just so straightforward. Grandma Fitzgerald is just such an enthusiast. And then Pete is just so nonchalant. And he never drops that. He acts like this the whole movie. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I honestly, this guy, I don't know why he gave me his house, but he did. And then Grandma's like, well, thank God, because you were going to get evicted.
Especially since you're about to be evicted from your old home.
They've pretty much established that they're going to move to this house because Jim was about to get evicted. And Grandma decided they want to turn it into a country inn. That's what they're going to do. They are going to turn the house that they are living in into a country inn. Genius idea. That is how you make your money back.
Luckily, I had the great idea of turning Jim's place into a country inn.
Your idea? I thought it was my dad's idea.
All's I'm saying, count on family to see you through the hard times. Family is what's important. Family is what sticks together.
And then Grandma's like sitting here being like, family is the most important thing in your life. Family. Family is what keeps you together through thick and thin. Family is gonna be there for you no matter what. Family is the most important thing ever. And they're literally sitting here just like dancing on the grave of a family member. Like... And while this like inspiring family moment is taking place, this car just comes flying out of nowhere, hits them, their cat clings to the ceiling. It's never talked about again, and they move on with their lives. And now we are introduced to these two new characters who have pretty big intentions to rob a museum nearby. That, you know what? No wonder they got into an accident. I mean, they were just like viciously making out. So the Fitzgeralds arrive at their new estate in Gold Valley, California. I mean, I see big things coming around for them. Look at the rainbow. And then we got the grandma just taking it away in the passenger seat on about some real philosophical stuff.
In the old country, a rainbow like that meant good luck. But you also knew that company was nearby.
Company?
Just the little people.
Apparently, rainbows are a symbol of good luck. And a sign of little people. What does that, like, what do you mean? And then it's fucking, the Dwiggins are just having their moment in the window. They're scoping them out. There's this one Dwiggan that's just instigating, like, bad vibes. Bad vibes. I don't know if I'm feeling these guys.
Bad vibes, people. Bad vibes.
It really got to this other Dwiggan because he pulled out a potato bazooka and he's like, you know what? I know how we can scope out if these are good or bad people. A potato bazooka. Like, what? What are we, like, we're gonna shoot them with potatoes?
Hey, would you put that potato bazooka away, Yabo? They're Fitzgeralds. Dwiggins and them go way, way back.
Oh, they're groovy people.
But they decide they're gonna spare them because they are Fitzgeralds after all. So whenever they get there, this just random lady is sitting there on the porch and she's like, makes fun of them as soon as they get out of the car. And he's like, who are you? And she's like,
impressive packing job, Sparky.
Can I help you?
Hi, you must be Jim's family.
Pete Fitzgerald.
Melissa Rogers.
and yeah, if no one's surprised, the inside of the house, it's pretty bad. They're looking around, and then Timmy gets approached by an ox, which he professionally mounts and rides the ox around this house. But Grandma, she's worried, and she just manhandles this ox.
Tough one, aren't you? But not as tough as me.
But Melissa, who's now just invited herself into the house, is like, yep, Jim was a character. He loved letting the animals hang out inside because he was so lonely all the time.
Jim didn't have much company here, so he let the animals live in the house with.
So now we're back with the Dwiggan Council, and what they've decided is, since their royal duty as Dwiggins is to protect the Fitzgeralds, make the Fitzgeralds rich, and always lend them a helping hand no matter what, which I don't understand, but that is their job, and even the book says so. They also don't want the Fitzgeralds to know of their existence yet for some reason.
I think we gotta help them without them seeing us. That way they'll think their luck is turning.
So all day, the Dwiggins are planting gold around this house, and somehow the Fitzgeralds managed to miss it every single time. So now the Dwiggins are just getting frustrated, and the Fitzgeralds are just frustrated because they realize it is going to cost a lot of money to fix this place up. But it seems like they got a pretty nice piece of property, and if it's going to be that expensive to fix it up, why not just sell it? But, you know, they're really determined to turn it into a country inn. It's really important. So y'all remember those two robbers from the beginning of the movie that have had absolutely zero relevance to the plot? Well, they're back. And apparently they are working with a much higher power of robbers, and they're devising this plan even further to steal this gem from this museum.
We have security plans to museum, so we know how to break in.
Why are we trusting this guy? This sounds like a pretty high stakes mission, okay? And we're trusting this guy? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I would trust this guy. And his plan doesn't seem very, like, established. He's just, like, laying it out like, look, guys, there's a museum coming to town. All right, stay with me. We're gonna steal the gem. How are we gonna do it? By stealing it. Who's in? Like... So now one of the Dwiggins decides to be as greedy as physically possible, and he is stealing a donut, very obviously, even though they have a very strict rule to stick to right now, and that's not to get spotted. Because, you know, one of these Fitzgeralds could, you know, not react very well to seeing this levitating in their kitchen with a fishing rod taking a donut from them. Okay, you know, I don't think very many people would react well to that. And, you know, he does it anyways. And to no one's surprise, he gets caught by grandma. And you know what? He is so lucky it's grandma that caught him, because grandma has been a believer since day one.
Sup guys, Jesse from the future. I really want to point this out. I didn't even think about this before. Why on earth is he using a rope to hoist himself down? As if he literally can't fly! You have wings!
So now grandma's aware of the existence of the Dwiggins.
We people, I knew it. Don't think for a second that I'm afraid of you.
There is just a consistent theme of donuts here. I don't know why the movie wasn't called The Dwegons and the Donuts. Like, it just has a better ring to it, and it just makes more sense. Leprechauns show up one time in this movie, and their role is so minuscule that I don't even know why this movie is called The Dwegons and Leprechauns. You know what? There's no way this movie wasn't just laundering money. Like, there's no way, because... Right, so now Nosy Threehorn decides that he's gonna take initiative, and he decided he's gonna introduce himself to the youngest Fitzgerald in the least creepy way possible that any kid would definitely fall for.
Hey, you. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Don't be scared.
Like, why is this kid following this thing? And it's beyond that. Nosy then talks the kid. He didn't even talk him into it. He just like, follow me. And he was like, okay. He takes him into the basement and brings him to Dween Land.
Dween Land? Oh, you'll love it. It's a lot different from the Dween Land in Europe.
Europe?
Yeah. They got an underground Dween Land in Europe for Dwiggins who went back to the old country.
I love that whenever he's trying to kidnap and lure this kid, his selling point is he starts dancing at him. Like, this is so unnecessary. He turns our boy Tim into Dwiggan size, and he's just giving him a tour of Dween Land. They got Dwiggan surfers, Dwiggan bars, they got Dwiggan rainbow synesthesia, and we get like a 10-minute crash course on how the Dwiggans utilize the energy from a rainbow. He also finally gets to the point and he's like, look, this is gold. And for the last 200 years, your family has been doing a very strict deal with the Dwiggins, okay? And if you do not comply, it's not gonna be good. Tim's just like, oh my God, what is it? You have to give us donuts. You just want donuts for gold forever? I mean, yeah, I can swing that, no big deal. Yeah, that's it? All you gotta do is trade donuts and you get gold in a lifetime of richness, and it's generational wealth.
Well, you know how we Dwiggins love donuts?
Your Uncle Jim used to get us whole truckloads of them.
Now we have nobody to get them.
And finally, we find out why the movie is called Dwegons and Leprechauns. Apparently, these leprechauns came, like, to America during the gold rush or whatever, and they were introduced to these, lady fairies, and they got their Dwig on and made some Dwiggins.
Yes, fellas, I know it's Saturday night, but there are women folk around for you to take to the dance. You take the one on the right with the hot tan.
So a fairy and a leprechaun makes a Dwiggan. Like, why isn't the movie just called Dwiggins and Donuts? Or like Dwiggins and the Fitzgeralds, or literally anything else? Also, I don't know why they're trying to sell these fairies as like hot. Like, are they trying to give them sex appeal? Cause I don't like it. You know, I don't. In between all the Dwiggan action going on, we finally find out why the hell Melissa is here and why she's lurking so hard.
Do you ever go home? Go home? What for? When I was a silly young thing who'd just gotten out of a bad relationship, Jim let me stay here while I got my life back together.
Jim was just a real one and treated her really well, and that really was just an important role model in her life. And also, she reveals that she's definitely got the hots for Pete.
His nephew ain't too shabby neither.
I don't know if it's just an animation glitch, but she really seems to light up when she finds out that his wife died 2 years ago.
Lonely, you know. I came to help, but it's not the same.
I'm a little too excited about that. I don't know how. So yeah, finally his tour of Dween Land is over. He understands it now. All right, I gotta get donuts to these guys in exchange for gold. So what Timmy does is, in order to help his family find the gold, is he plants this box under a tarp. And while the whole family is gathered in the living room, he trips. And nobody, like, there's a huge lack of urgency. I don't know what this dad has been doing to cope with the death of his wife, but he is just so chill all the time. But they find this gold, and they're like, instead of being like, oh my god, we're gonna be rich forever, holy, like, if I found gold, I'd be like, there's gold everywhere, there's more, like, and they're just like, oh, gold, wow, isn't that crazy, huh?
Now I can turn this place into a real country inn.
And then immediately following the scene, I don't know how much time has passed. Like, they're really bad about establishing that. The house is a mansion now. And then the Dwiggins are noticing, like, oh my god, all these renovations are happening. They are about to dig up Dween Land. Oh my god, we gotta do something. And instead of, like, just going and talking to the kid or the grandma who already are aware of the existence of the Dwiggins, they decide to make shit just go wrong and malfunction, and they're just breaking things to just, like, prevent this from happening. But it's like, I just feel like it would have been so much easier had they just went and told grandma, like, look, they're about to dig up Dween Land and we need to do something about it because they're going to find all our gold and it's not going to be good. And instead of doing that, they just decided to make things difficult and stress out everybody. Following that, as if that wasn't enough, that night, they decide to tie up Pete, who is not even aware of the Dwiggins yet. And they wake him up and they're like, look, you can't dig up Dween Land. He's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, he just, like, doesn't even care. Like, he's just like, what? Oh, y'all are Dwiggins? Okay, that's cool. Why am I tied up? He's just like, okay, like, that's fine. Whatever. I won't dig up Dween Land. Yeah, you want to give me gold? That's cool. Why am I tied up? Can you untie me? Like, the country in your building? We want it to be called the Dwiggan. Yeah, okay, that works with me. So I get the gold and you're gonna untie me, and all I have to do is build somewhere else and call it the Dwiggan. They're just making it so much more serious than it is. Also, what infuriates me about this movie, the most annoying part about this movie, is I know that I'm not the creator, but they spelled Dwiggan wrong. And more importantly, they spelled Dwig wrong. Okay, that's the Dwegin. I just feel like Dwig is supposed to be spelled D-W-E-E-G. Now, all this time has passed. And you remember those two robbers? Yeah, they're back. I feel like we're watching two movies at once. Anyways, today is the day that they are robbing the museum. They decide that whenever they steal this gem, the way they're gonna go off the radar is by staying at the Dwiggan.
Stravinsky will never think to look for us in this place.
Brilliant.
Because no one's ever gonna find them at the Dwiggan. And obviously, who would ever turn down liver? They're off to steal the gem, and they have a massive success stealing the gem, which is, like, completely predictable, and I could have seen that coming from a mile away. Because the precautions that they were taking in order to protect this gem while moving it into the museum were very limited. It doesn't shock me at all that they were able to successfully steal such a grand jewel. And honestly, like, they kept portraying themselves as the best robbers ever, and this is what made me realize they're honestly not, because this was the dumbest thing they could have done. The witness that they brought with them, they just, like, pushed him out of the car. Obviously, he's gonna go running back to the boss about it, and I can't even blame them for that, because their task to steal this thing from the museum was so simple. Like, they literally just had to go in there and take it. So I'm not even surprised that they made such a fatal mistake, you know? So the robbers arrive at the Dwiggan. Immediately upon arriving, they notice a guillotine is being unpacked. One of the sets of furniture that they ordered for the country inn, for some reason came with a guillotine. But, you know, we never talk, the guillotine is never brought up again.
How long are you staying with us?
Probably 2 weeks.
And how will you be paying for this?
Cash.
Here you go.
Dad, don't you think there's something weird about those guests?
They are paying guests here, which makes them A-OK in our book. They were just talking about this exhibit opening on the news.
And then immediately Timmy is like, there's something off about these people. And then Pete's just like, he's just like, nah, it's whatever. But you know, they actually just brought up to me this museum that just got robbed. Yeah. And also these robbers, like, they're just amateurs. Like, why are you bringing up anything relative to the crime around these people? You don't know these people. Anyways, they get a call from, you know, the boss, and they start lying about the guy that they pushed off the car, and they're like, he robbed us. And they're putting in the performance of a lifetime here.
He steals from us.
But obviously, anyone could have predicted this. That guy just went running right back to the boss because that's who he works for. And I don't understand why they ever thought this was a good idea, but, you know, they did it. And again, to no one's surprise, the call was traced.
They were calling from Gold Valley.
It's like, you're so bad at your job. Like, you have one job. Like, if these guys are trying to leave the people out of it, the last thing they should do is answer a call from them and lie, like, add fuel to the fire. Just ignore them. They don't know where you are. Just ghost them. Like, why are you answering the call? And then, the Dwiggins decided to be nosy, and they found the gem in these people's room.
Wow! Do my Dwiggan eyes betray me? Dwiggan!
And I don't know what compelled the Dwiggins to start going through any of the guest stuff at the hotel. The Dwiggan just opened and they're trying to build a clientele, and the first thing the Dwiggins do is just go snooping around. They're gonna get a bad review on Yelp, guys. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing? And then they're like, you know what, though? These guys are bad. So we're gonna steal from them because obviously 2 wrongs make a right. It's in the Dwig book. It says in the Dwig manual to do that. It doesn't. Okay, this is the one time they should have listened to the book, because I know the book would have stopped them from doing this, but they decide to steal the gem, which obviously causes problems. And then whenever the robbers inevitably noticed that the gem was gone, they pulled a gun on Timmy.
What's wrong, Timmy? Problem with the service?
Please, to drop leso on table.
Bro, it's like the dad's lack of urgency genuinely kills me. Like, he's just like, he pulled a gun on my child. Was the service bad? Room cleaning? Grandma, come on, you're supposed to go straighten their rooms up. This is the movie, like, the last 30 minutes, it just goes so far downhill just immediately. So the only rule that the Fitzgeralds have to follow is do not tell anybody about the Dwiggins. The first thing they do is immediately fold under pressure. It was the Dwiggins. They literally have a gun pulled on their child, and they're like, it was the Dwiggins! So what they do is they take the robbers to Dween Land. It went from potato bazookas to guillotines and guns so quickly. So they get into Dween Land, and immediately they're charged by the dragon security guard, and they just start lighting Dween Land on fire, man. They just start lighting up Dween Land. And then, like, the Fitzgeralds, they just run away in a straight line. They see these people with guns, and then they floor themselves on the ground, which was the smart thing to do. And then they're like, you know what, fuck it, let's make a run in a straight line. Don't run in a straight line! What are we doing? And now we're back with the Dwiggan Council. This is such a long movie, by the way. It's an hour and 40 minutes long. It should not have been that long. But according to the Dwiggan book, they need to end this battle peacefully.
You must try to settle matters peacefully. The Dwiggins are strictly forbidden from owning or using guns.
At the same time that they're trying to solve something here in the Dwiggan Council room, the Fitzgeralds arrive. And thank God, because apparently Timmy brought a potato bazooka. Obviously, Timmy didn't have any time to grab the potato bazooka because he was immediately escorted at gunpoint. So that means that he must have had the potato bazooka with him before all of this erupted. So they push up up on the people with guns, with potato guns, and they just start lobbing potatoes at these people, and they run away. Obviously, they are able to escape the potatoes, and they still have their guns. Like, this was completely ineffective. And, like, the Dwiggins are celebrating as if they took them down, but they just escaped. Like, they're still in Dween Land. Like, they still have to do something, and they're all just, like, celebrating, like, yeah! Potato bazooka for the win! They're still out there! So the two robbers escape, they find the gold, and then they find something much worse than gold. They meet the enemy of the Dwiggins, Dwiggan. Dwiggan's like, look, I was a Dwiggan, but I was an evil Dwiggan. But let me cut you a deal. If you let me out, I'll help you take down the Dwiggins and the Fitzgeralds. And reasonably so. Finally, they make one good decision. They're like, why should we trust you? And Dwiggan hits them with the coldest line in cinematic history.
Never tried to bamboozle a bamboozler.
And they were like, you know what? Good point. So they let out Dwiggan, and now Dwiggan and all the bad guys are out. This obviously isn't looking good for the Dwiggins and Fitzgeralds, but hey, let's be optimistic here. And, you know, immediately, instead of, like, just trying to play it off and be like, look, we got this, the Dwiggins find out that Dwiggan and the bad guys are out, and they're like, Code Red! Dwiggan!
Emergency warning! Dwiggan and his henchmen have been freed by the intruders. They are heading to Town Square. Dwiggan is coming!
Now they know you're scared. Like, they just keep making the wrong decision over and over and over. Dwiggan and the bad guys are coming up with the plan. The Dwiggins are coming up with the plan. And they're about to go to war. They finally decide, fuck it, we're gonna use more potatoes. We got potato cannons now. We're just gonna potato these people and just keep potatoing them. Which obviously didn't work because these guys can breathe fire. So it's just not going well. But luckily, Dwiggan switched up on the robbers. So they kind of like lost some very important legs in this war. And then, like, you remember how apparently there's a Dwigganville in China? So somehow one of the Dwiggins, like, immediately contacted one of those Dwiggins, and then that Dwiggan coded a robot which took down Dwiggan.
You've been a bad boy.
And that's how they Dwigged off and won the war. Like, and I just, you know what, hey, look, they won. That's what matters. They throw the grand Dwiggan party. And, yeah, you know, the Fitzgeralds return back home. They find out grandma's with the bosses. That's no good. But then they whoop the bosses' tails, turn them into the police, and now the Fitzgeralds are heroes. And everyone wants to stay at the Dwiggan. And that is the end of the movie. It is like, you know what? I guess the plot isn't that bad if you subtract, like, you know what? I don't know if, like, is it bad? Like, I don't know, guys, but look.
Sup, guys? Jesse from the future. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know, because I had a lot of fun. If you want me to make more, I'll make more. Also, I made a second channel. The username is the other Josie K. Link will also be in the description if you want to subscribe for more me. And also, please follow my Instagram.